Hey, Bourbon family. It is Thirsty Thursday. How are you doing today? Whiskey Phoenix coming to you with another review. And I promise you, this one is not another one that's hard to find. What I've got for you today on this Thirsty Thursday is 13 Colonies. This is their Southern Rye Whiskey. God, I'm glad I don't have to say that fast 3 times. This actually took me a little bit of time to get my hands on a 13 Colonies. I had been looking for one, and I got lucky and picked one up. I don't know, probably about, it's been a while now, probably like 4 or 5 months ago at this point in time. Haven't been into it too much because it was so hard for me to find, which I'm really not sure why that was for me. But I mean, finally I did, manage to get my hands on one down at one of my favorite places in Bellevue, Kentucky, the Party Source. So that's what I've decided I want to review for you today. This is coming in at 95 proof. MSRP on this was $45, I believe, if I remember right. And even though 13th Colony is actually located in Georgia, I was noticing that this says on the bottle that it was distilled in Indiana. And it was aged and bottled by 13th Colony Distilleries in Americus, Georgia. So I don't know if that's something that they normally do. And some of my research I've came across that I guess they source a lot of their distillate, so maybe that's why it was distilled in Indiana. It was a little hard to come up with a mash bill on this, but from some of my research, it was saying it's your typical MGP mash bill of 95.5, 95% rye, 5% malted barley. So I guess that's just kind of where I've got to land where that's concerned. Now, I love my research, so I had to look into 13th Colony, and I found their story a little bit interesting. I guess it, maybe it's not unique, and as happens more in the, whiskey and bourbon world than I realized, but I found it unique that, back in 2009, I guess some friends got together and they were making liquor as holiday gifts for family and friends. And it just started as like a one-time event, and which then kind of led into where they are now. That's become a lifelong passion of crafting spirits. And they basically asked themselves, hey, if we make liquor for our friends that we know, why don't we make it for other people that we don't know? And so today, 13th Colony is the oldest operating distillery in Georgia since Prohibition. They go on to say that they age to taste, not just time. They believe more time in the barrel will produce a better quality spirit. I guess they still, to this day, since 2009, are owned and operated by the same family and friends that, turned one special occasion into generational business. That was the other thing as well when it came to 13th Colony is I couldn't get a definitive age statement on this, but anything that I saw was coming in right around in a 4 to 6 year range. So, doing a little other, through other parts of my research, it seems like this one's actually preferred. This is the French oak finish, and I guess there's also a cast strength finish of 13 Colonies out there as well, which, I'm going to have to be on the lookout for that one now. And I guess a lot of people were saying that they really prefer the French oak finish to the cast strength. The cast strength, I guess, is praised for its powerful flavor and high proof, but the French oak finish is described as, you know, it has that lack of heat and bold flavor, which, you know, is to be expected because it's only coming in at 95 proof to begin with. So, I mean, I'm not really sure why people are like dogging on it where that's concerned. I mean, yeah, I mean it's, you know, under 100 proof. It's not gonna have a lot of heat to it and whatnot. Um, but I mean, overall, it really was. There was a lot of, you know, pretty decent reviews out there. You know, especially the price point on this coming in at $45. You know, there was, you know, some praise that, you know, it is bold. It's got a little spice to it. There's a sweet flavor profile. Um, but I guess the big thing is it just, you know, from everything I could see, it just lacks, you know, certain expressions. So let's get into this nose. That's actually got a pretty, I mean, I'm not like blasted with the ethanol, but it's really got, I mean, it kind of hits you with a little bit of ethanol if you get down in there too far. Right away, just I'm getting some brown sugar, a little bit of clove, maybe even some nutmeg. And you know, I've been picking up spices getting ready for Thanksgiving. And what am I doing? I'm literally like opening them up and smelling them. So that's, I think, why I know that I actually caught some nutmeg for a change. Otherwise, I mean, I had some other spice. I don't know what it was. Maybe a little bit of caramel even. Hmm. I don't know. Almost maybe a citrus. I don't know, maybe, or I'm not sure what that other is on the nose. Okay, let me get this first sip out of the way. The fingers on this are pretty good, honestly. Um, they're coming down in kind of a medium pace. You know, the color on this is pretty nice, kind of like a light amber color. There is a little bit of spice, a little bit of that rye spice, but it kind of, now I'm kind of getting kind of a little bit of a sweetness. Um, Maybe like maple or a vanilla cream wafer. You guys remember those? I used to love those things. Um, yes, if you guessed, I'm actually searching and hoping for the mint to come through. If I remember right, when I put some of the lime water in this, it actually did open it up where after a few sips of it, I could actually get just an ever so slight hint of mint, but I'm just not getting it, and I don't have the lime water up here with me. Yeah, the maple, like I said, a vanilla cream wafer kind of, and maybe even a little bit of almond. The finish on this, it's actually fairly long. I'd give it, you know, I just, no, honestly, it's still sitting there. I'd give this kind of long. Slightly oily, not a lot, which I guess I might have been expecting a little bit more because these fingers really make it appear that it would be more oily on the finish. And then on the finish, it kind of like goes from that maple vanilla cream wafer to where there's like a dark fruit. I don't know if that's like a plum or raisins or something. I'm just going to leave it at dark fruit because I can't pinpoint what it is. So it's something along there. Overall, I think this is a really good rye. Again, I'm finding myself leaning pretty heavily into the ryes. I just feel like they offer a wider variety of a flavor profile for me personally. What I might need to do is try and get my hands on a couple more weededs. I do have a Penelope weeded that's unopened that I'll get around to doing a review on. But I mean, overall, I mean, for the price at $45, I think it's a really good whiskey bourbon for that price point. Probably, I might consider it a decent starter with it coming in at just 95 proof, because it at least teaches and would help people understand that there is some spiciness that goes along with the ryes. But overall, I find it a really good rye. If I was to rate this, I would, if I was going to put it in just a rye category by itself, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. Nah, let me change that. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. If I'm going to rate it overall, I would say it's like a 8.5 out of 10. So there you have it. Let me know if you've tried the 13th Colony's French oak finish, or if you've had the cask strength. If you have, drop in the comments. Let me know which one that you like best. As always, I'll drop a link in the comments for 13th Colony. In the bio, your Hang Like Gummies. You know what to do. And I think that's it for this Thirsty Thursday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of it. Don't partake too hard unless you had a bad day and you're really thirsty. But as always, please drink responsibly, and I'll see you in the next one.